Hey guys, in today's video, I talk a little bit about a free trading workshop that we'll be doing next week starting April 8th. I also talk about a personality test that I took to kind of get to know myself better as a person and as a trader. What I forgot to mention is that I will be throwing the links to both of those in the show notes. So what that means is that if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description box below. If you're watching on a podcast app, it should be wherever it gives you information about the episode. So you can check both of those out if you want the links and you want to involve yourself either in the free trading workshop or take the personality test so you can become a better trader. All right, let's kick the intro music. Hey guys, Akil here, and welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. If this is your first time joining me, I am a Forex trader. I am a trading coach. I am also one of the co-founders of Tier1Trading.com, which is a trading education company. If you guys are interested in taking your trading to the next level, I have two things that you're going to want to do. One is you're going to want to sign up for our Ascension event. I know it's last minute, right? It starts Monday, April 8th, but there's still time to join. There's still time to sign up. It's a 4-day free online training event. Make sure you're there. If you don't plan on being there, you happen to hear this podcast after the fact, make sure you head over to www.tier1trading.com and check out our 14-day trial. That also allows you to get on our platform and experience some of what we have to offer. Now, this morning on said platform, I was talking to a trader a little bit about really finding out the right fit, finding out the right system for this trader. And understand, if you guys are new, there's no magic system in trading, right? There are millions of different strategies, millions of different techniques, millions of different markets and pairs, or maybe not millions, but a handful of markets and pairs that you can trade. And it really doesn't matter what particular method you use. What matters most is that obviously you have a foundational skill of learning how to read a price chart if you're going to be a technical trader, a foundational skill and knowledge of fundamentals if you're going to be a fundamental trader. But more importantly, the key to trading success is finding a system that matches your personality and your philosophy. And many of you guys are saying, well, Akil, I thought trading psychology was the key to success. And it is. And part of matching your trading system, your trading style to your personality and philosophy is trading psychology. If you are trading a way which goes directly against who you are or directly against what you believe, it's going to be extremely difficult to consistently do that over time. When I first started trading, one of the systems I traded was this long-term trend following system. It was one of those hop on the trend is your friend, hop on the trend and ride it until it ends. And I really didn't see the market in that way. I really wasn't kind of a buy and holder when it came to trading. However, I tried using the system because it worked and I wanted a quick fix system that would make me money. And it was all good while I was winning, right? There's never a problem when you're winning or making money. But when it was losing, I really started to second guess and doubt why the system was giving me the signals that it did. I would have a different perspective on the market, but the system would tell me to do something of the opposite nature. I would do it, it would lose, and I'd be like, well, I should have just done what I thought I should have done. And it was really that conflict that eventually led to me ditching the system, but before that, breaking my rules, taking targets early, moving stops back, skipping trades, some of the common stuff that we do as struggling traders. Later on, I learned the importance of really finding out what my philosophy is, what my personality is, and being able to adapt my system to meet that. And that's something that we work with the traders on our platform with, is kind of giving them a full spectrum of knowledge of trading. Hey, you can do this, you can do that, you need to know this, you need to know that. But taking them through the strategy development section where they're really making or rather taking what they've learned and making it fit what they want to do. And one of the questions I asked the trader this morning, we were having this conversation, because he said, I want to do this, but I don't like that. It doesn't feel like it meshes with this. Doesn't feel like it hits that. I said, well, personality-wise, who are you? What do you want? And that led to me thinking about a test I did this morning, right? I did this test originally about 5 years ago, and I need to write it down to make sure I do it every year, because my results today were vastly different than where I was at 5 years ago, which is, I guess, a good thing, growth. But it's a personality test. And the site that I use is www.16, the number 16, personalities.com. And it's a handful of questions, and it will kind of let you know more about yourself. And if you answer the questions truthfully and quickly, I always like to do it quickly, because if you think too much about it, you'll kind of think about doing it the way you want the test to show you. Just be honest and quick, and you'll find that the results are pretty hands-on. So what I want to do today is I want to make this podcast a little bit about me, and I'm going to read through you the results of my personality test. Now, I haven't read through this yet, so we'll see. I'll read and reflect, and hopefully it's good. I hate doing pre-planning stuff, because then you sound like a robot. So I like kind of being in the moment. I told my good buddy, Bob Vasile, some of you guys have heard the guest podcast from him. We're actually having a deliberate success workshop in an hour or so I better make this quick. But a lot of you guys have brought feedback that said, hey, Bob, I love what you're doing. The content is amazing, but you sound so dry. You sound like you are reading a book, right? And that was positive feedback. He hit me up with an email, said, man, you're so right. I listened to my podcast and I put myself to sleep. I got to start being more like I am when I'm in person, and I can feed off the energy of the room. So I gave him some advice. I said, hey, Bob, I feel like it's weird. I'm giving advice on podcasting when the Trading Coach podcast is only a year old. But I guess I get this from just being a trading educator in general and public speaker. But I say when I do a podcast, because we don't have that audience to reflect on, I just like doing it in the moment. I try not to plan in the head. I get a thought in my head, I turn the mic on, and I just spit verbal diarrhea from the mouth, and hopefully it comes out good, and you guys seem to like it, despite the awful analogy. But that's kind of the best way to be just unique and in the moment, spontaneous. So I came up as a virtuoso personality. And I'll kind of read what it says to me. It says, virtuosos love to explore with their hands and their eyes, touching and examining the world around them with cool rationalism and spirited curiosity. People with this personality type are natural makers, moving from one project to the next project, building the useful and building useful stuff for the fun of it, and learning from their environment as they go. Often mechanics and engineers, virtuosos find no greater joy than in getting their hands dirty, pulling things apart, and putting them back together just a little bit better than they were before. And that kind of reflects on me. I like being as efficient as possible. I'm currently working on a new training course called the Foundation Course 2.0. I took a big risk with the first version of this course, and the reward was amazing. People loved it. It was something that it was teaching in a way that people didn't necessarily see before, and it worked out well. Well, ever since then, I reviewed the courses, and I always feel horrible. I'm quite critical of myself, and I said, oh man, I should have done this. I should have explained that. That Q&A session, I explained it much better in that Q&A session than in the course. All these people are missing out. So I've been tearing it apart, and I'm putting together a second version of that, which I hope is even better than the first. And I don't have to by any means. I want to, because I just want to keep kind of making it better as I learn, as I become a better trader and a better communicator as far as a trading coach as well. I just want to present things in the best possible way that you guys can learn. And that's the cool thing about working with thousands and thousands of traders over my career. Everyone learns a little bit differently. So you always find different little ways to kind of word something or really display something that may work for that one person that's a little bit confused. Virtuosos explore ideas through creating, troubleshooting, trial and error. Yep. Hand is raised. You can't see it. Trial and error. That's how I became a good trader. I messed up until I ran out of things to do that were wrong, and then I got right. Trial and error and firsthand experience. They enjoy having other people taking interest in their projects, and sometimes don't even mind them getting in their space. That's not so much me, but these things aren't perfect. Of course, That's on the condition, oh, I guess here it goes. That's on the condition that those people don't interfere with the virtuoso's principles and freedom. And they'll need to be open to the virtuoso's returning the interest in kind. So that is, I spoke too soon. That is a little bit more about me. I don't mind working with people, but if it's not principled, and if I don't have the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, it's not going to happen. And many of you guys know the story about me leaving the former trading education company that I was with. The main reason I left, really the only reason I left, was principles. My principles and what I felt the company's principles, and not necessarily the company as a whole, but a particular person at the company's principles, weren't in line. Now, before you guys start jumping to conclusion, oh, Akil hates Jason. I just spoke to Jason the other day. It wasn't a Jason Stapleton thing. Trust me. It was something behind the scenes, a person that you don't know about at all. So don't spread internet rumors, right? But principles changed. I put myself in the freedom of position where I was free to leave whenever I want. That is something I do in all my business ventures. Either I have majority ownership. So at the end of the day, I can make a decision and what I say goes. I'm always really big on majority ownership, or putting myself in more of a contract type of position where I am an independent contractor. I will work with you, but I don't have to work with you. I have the freedom to do what I want. I've learned that by a few other business mistakes in the past. But virtuosos enjoy lending a hand, sharing their experience, especially with the people they care about. And it's a shame they're so uncommon. Yep, I'm special. Making up only about 5% of the population. Virtuoso women are especially rare, and the typical gender roles that society tends to expect can be a poor fit. They'll often be seen as tomboys from a young age. Sounds like my wife. Maybe that's why we're so compatible. Next, it says dare to differ. With their mechanical tendencies, while their mechanical tendencies can make them appear simple at a glance, virtuosos are actually quite, I don't know this word, enigmatic is the word. I don't know what it means, but that's my public school education. Help me, send me a message if you know what it means. Friendly but not private, calm but suddenly spontaneous, extremely curious but unable to stay focused on formal studies. Yes, I was not good in school at staying focused. My mind is always working on the next project. Virtuosos' personalities can be a challenge to predict, even by their friends and loved ones. Virtuosos can seem very loyal and steady for a while, but they tend to build up and store impulsive energy that explodes without warning, taking their interests in bold new directions. That is definitely me. I am not necessarily one to confront all the time. So I typically build it in, and then I'll just leave. I'll just explode. It seems random to the outsider looking in, like, why did he just do that? But it's actually been thought about and building up for a while. If I think about my trading journey, I always tell you guys a story. Hey, I quit 3 jobs and became a trader. That seems random to all my friends. None of my friends knew about it. You just quit 3 jobs, become a trader? Yes. But it was a decision that was thought of for a very long time, just I didn't really express it. The biggest issue virtuosos are likely to face is that they often act too soon. Speak of the devil. This is awesome reading this live because I'm saying stuff and then it's telling me basically what I just said. The biggest issue virtuosos are likely to face is that they often act too soon, taking for granted their permissive nature and assuming that others are the same. Yep. They'll be the first to tell an insensitive joke or get overly involved in someone else's project, roughhouse and play around, or suddenly change their plans because something more interesting came up. Next it says, nothing is as boring as everyone agreeing with you. Virtuosos will come to learn that many of their personality types have much more firmly drawn lines on rules and acceptable behavior than they do. They don't want to hear an insensitive joke and certainly wouldn't tell one back, and they wouldn't want to engage in horseplay even with a willing party. If a situation is already emotionally charged, violating these boundaries can backfire tremendously. Virtuosos have a particular difficulty in predicting emotions, but this is just a natural extension of their fairness. Given how difficult it is to gauge virtuosos' emotions and motivations, however, their tendency to explore their relationships through their actions rather than through empathy can lead to some very frustrating situations. Yeah. People with the virtuoso personality type struggle with boundaries and guidelines, preferring the freedom, that's the biggest word there, that's the only reason I became an entrepreneur, is because of freedom, preferring the freedom to move about and color outside the lines if they need to. Finding an environment where they can work with good friends who understand their style and unpredictability, combining their creativity, sense of humor, and hands-on approach to build practical solutions and things will give the virtuosos many happy years of building useful boxes and admiring them from the outside. Now here's a cool thing, right? They said virtuosos were special, we're awesome. There's only about 5% of us. And at the bottom, it has a graphic of virtuosos you may know, so other special people like me. And I think I fit right in, right? Some of the people in this group are Clint Eastwood, Olivia Wilde, Bear Grylls, right? You can see the similarity between me and Bear, the toughness, the strong chin, Tom Cruise, Michael Jordan, Daniel Craig, Michelle Rodriguez. I like this fit. Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, and I think that's about it. There's more. Anyone else that Jack Bauer, 24, Indiana Jones, John McCain. I'm just a bad A. That's what it tells me. MacGyver. Yeah. This is pretty right. James Bond. Yep. We don't need to read anymore, but I'm a pretty badass guy. That's what it's telling me. Let's go on to the next section. I'll go briefly through this because I do have a meeting to get to. It says virtuosos, strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: optimistic and energetic, creative and practical, spontaneous and rational. They know how to prioritize. That is really key for me. They are great in a crisis. That is very key for me. Know how to prioritize. This flexibility comes with some unpredictability, but virtuosos' personalities are able to store their spontaneous thoughts, and that doesn't make sense. Spontaneous thoughts for a rainy day, releasing their energy just when it's needed the most. And that is me. I am a practical procrastinator. I am a procrastinator on things I have to do. We're working on the Ascension presentation right now, for example, and I just started trying to plan what I need to present, and we're a few days out. And what's cool about that is I do it on purpose because I understand pain and pleasure. I know how my body reacts. I am best when my back is against the wall, and I am unfocused when my back isn't against the wall. So when it gets to the point where something has to be done, I do it. I focus fully on it. I get it done. It gets done well. So I am much better at kind of working in a crisis, which is the next one. I'm pretty calm in crisis situations. I'm pretty relaxed, which is the strength after that. So this is pretty dead on with me. Weaknesses. I don't want to read this, right? Stubborn. No, I'm not. Lies. I'm not stubborn. Come on. Stubborn, which is actually a positive trait for a trader. As traders, we need to be very stubborn in the markets. Again, I mentioned earlier in the podcast, there are thousands and thousands of ways to be successful. And if you're on internet land, everyone thinks that their way is the only way. So to be a advanced pattern trader, for example, you're going to get a lot of grief when you post a pattern trade because, oh, patterns don't work. Oh, this is stupid. Oh, Forex is this. You can't get money, right? You need to be stubborn in your thoughts, stubborn in a sense of confident, where it's like, hey, I don't care what you think. I'm doing me. This works. I'm going to be great at it. Who cares? So I think that's actually a strength, not a weakness, but I can certainly see how it can be a weakness. Insensitive. Virtuosos use logic, and even when they try to meet others halfway with empathy and emotional sensitivity, I have none of that. It rarely seems to come out quite right. If anything is even said at all, that's dead on. I am pretty insensitive. I don't know if it's an athletic perspective. I don't know if it's become a trader or just me. I don't know if I used to work with kids with autism, maybe some type of, I'm on the spectrum somewhere. I'm pretty sure I am, but I'm pretty sure we all are. There we go. I'm pretty sure we all are, right? But I'm pretty insensitive. I honestly, I don't have much emotions. I don't express much emotions. I don't really care about emotions from others. I'm pretty insensitive when it comes to that. I was talking to Bob Vasile about this the other day, and a lot of this comes from just always focusing on the next, right? I don't get happy over the now because in my mind, the now was supposed to happen, right? I don't get happy over being successful. Why? I was supposed to be successful. This should be normal. I'm focused on how do I continue to be successful? How can I be successful tomorrow? So I don't actually take the time to be like, yeah, man, that was good. I feel good about it. Or if someone else accomplishes something, I find this really hard as a father. my kid does something for the first time where it's like, hey, I jumped up and grabbed that. I'm like, yeah, good. About time. You were supposed to jump up and grab that at some point. And I got to kind of go back and be like, this is an accomplishment for him. Be happy. He's never done this before. Where for me, it's like, good, you should be doing this because you're going to be a success. You should be doing successful things. You should be better than everyone. So that's difficult for me to do. And trading has made that worse with being unemotional in the market. So that's a kryptonite for me. Not that I really care because I'm insensitive, but that is, I'm self-aware of it. Private and reserved, yes. I'm not really the social butterfly unless I know you. I put off this image that I am antisocial. And it's really because of the first part. I really don't care what I don't care about. I'm so focused on my agenda that if there's no reason for us to be talking, if it's just a waste of time, that time could be spent doing something else. But for you guys that came out and saw me in London this past year or last year, I should say, at our Tier 1 trading ball, right? A lot of you guys were scared to talk to me. And what did I do? I came to your table and sat down and talked with you, right? That is me. But I know you on a different level. So I'm comfortable. I know that when we talk, it's going to be of relevance. It's going to be something, whether business related, whether it's trading related. Shoot, I talked to Dion about boxing and doing that and just fitness and whatnot. But I know you guys at a different level. So I'm private and reserved unless I know you. Then I'm actually very outgoing. You'll probably tell me to shut up because I'm talking too much. Easily bored. Yep. Attention span is nothing. Dislike commitment. Let's read this one. Long-term commitments are particularly, no. Yeah, well, I'll say this. It says, it's very long. Let's go, I'm trying to find a part that makes sense for time's sake. They prefer to take things day by day, and the feeling of being locked into something for a long time is downright oppressive. That pretty much, that works. I told you guys how I feel earlier about freedom. That's big. And I put out a podcast before about how I have a different view on goal setting. The way you're supposed to set goals, you're supposed to make time-based goals. If you don't make time-based goals, they're not supposed to count, right? You write them down, make them time-based. If that doesn't happen, they don't really count as goals. I'm the exact opposite. I do not like writing time-based goals down, and it's not because of being lazy. It's not because I don't think they work. I think it works really, really good for most people. But for me, the 5% virtuoso, I like taking things day by day. My goal is to win the day. I want to win today. I don't want to get caught up because I'm a procrastinator. If I put a goal on something a far way away from now, I will wait until that time to commit the goal, right? It is April 4th right now. If I say, I've got to get this done by April 30th, I'm not going to start until April 29th because I am a practical procrastinator. So if I make the goal that, hey, I'm going to win today, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do this today and do as much as I can today to win today, that will keep me pushing in the right direction. Now, obviously, some things have to be time-based as far as goals, but in general, I'm more of a day-to-day type person. Get the job done, win the day. Risky behavior is basically stubbornness, difficulty with others' emotions. Yeah, I don't care about others' emotions, so there we go right there. Let's go to romantic relationships and bow, chicka, wow, right? Let's go in there. When it comes to romantic relationships with virtuosos, it's a bit like nailing Jell-O to a tree. Oh my gosh, I'm not dateable. Dating virtuoso personalities is a tango, complex and interesting with alternating coldness and detachment. Wish my wife was here. She can come and chime in, but all you would hear in the background, yup, preach, amen, right? It's all you would hear in the background. Detachment, passion, coldness, detachment, lack of passion, spontaneity, and enjoyment of the moment. Yep, that's me. Nothing can be forced in virtuoso relationships, but so long as they are given the space they need to be themselves, they will gladly enjoy the comforts of a steady partner for a lifetime. This is so true. I look at my past relationships, women that need attention, that need to be coddled, they need all this. I do not work good at that. Girls that want to be with you all the time, and hang around you. Even my kid, I hate when my kid hangs around me all the time. I feel like a bad father, but like I'm like, I need space. I need my space, and I will commit time to you, and I will give you everything I have when I commit that time. But like, I just can't have you hanging around me all the time. I need my space. That's really true. We're not going to read this thing. It says if songs can change lives, we all love each other. It talks about early dating. We don't need to do that again. Let's go to friendships. Virtuoso friends. When it comes to friendships, virtuosos seem to be made of Bushnell's law of game design, easy to learn, difficult to master. I'm a loyal friend, not a good friend. I would say that. With their well-rounded and interesting array of hobbies, people with virtuoso personality types have no trouble at all making acquaintances to share their activities with. Yeah, I have no problems making friends. It's getting beneath the surface to become virtuoso's true friends that is real challenge, leaving them with a lot of goodwill and friendly faces to cast on, but only a few people will know people who they truly feel understand them. Yep. I have a lot of friends. I can probably count the friends I let in on definitely on two hands, very close to one hand. I do not let a lot of people in. It takes a lot to get people in. And it's funny because some of my friends know it. I have a really, really good friend named Larry, and he knows it. He said, because he's real social, and he's like, you're tough. You're tough. He said, and his goal was to kind of get in there. But I've only known him for, I've known him for a while now, probably 6-7 years, but it takes a long time. My true friends are like people I knew from like grade school. So, maybe, but not today. Let's see. Simply not wanting to be bound to any particular person or activity. So commitment issues. Physical activities. Hold on. Virtuoso's hobbies, especially the more physical activities like fishing and craft, especially enjoyable with a little company. Okay, let's go to the next one. Parenthood. Oh man, I don't want to read this. Real quick, there's another one. It said this may be. I never set out to be weird, but yet virtuosos are unusually popular, almost in spite of themselves. Their open-minded, interesting hobbies and relaxed attitude are attractive to a remarkably broad range of personality types. With so many acquaintances, virtuosos are sure to strike up deeper friendships with at least a few. That is really true. I don't try to make friends, but people always are like, man, you're awesome. I'm like, no, I don't want to be around you. Virtuoso parents. Real quick, when it comes to parenting, virtuosos give their children more freedom and opportunity to do what they want with sensible limits, of course. That's dead on. And other personality types. It's a big world out there meant to be explored and experienced. Nothing is quite as perplexing to virtuoso parents as their children sitting inside and watching television all day. Relaxed, open-minded, and flexible, virtuoso personalities expect their children to use their freedom wisely. That is, to exploit it in the name of exploration and experience. That is me. Do what you want and learn from it. To a limit. But one of my big things, my kid, when he was younger, he climbed this little arch in the back of our thing. He climbed it. He was exploring up there. My wife saw freaking out. Like, no, he can't be up there. I'm like, no, look, he found a way to get up there. Let him explore life. And he fell and almost, poked his eye out. He had this big gash underneath his face for the first 3 years of his life. But, I would let him do it 10 times out of 10. The world is your oyster early in life. This attitude is tremendously beneficial to virtuoso's children. Yes. At this age, every little thing is a miracle to be explored with every sense. Blocks just don't have distinct colors and shapes, but smells and tastes too. And this sort of sensory exploration is right up a virtuoso's alley. So perfect. Career paths. Virtuoso career personality types is probably the hardest to pin down in many aspects of life, but especially in their careers. Virtuosos thrive on diversity and unpredictability. Markets, right? On wondering what's next every morning. This makes virtuosos one of the most mysterious personality types, but also one of the most versatile in the professional world. And this is key. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, right? But it says, as I said, we're born problem solvers with an unwavering focus on practical solutions through perhaps not always solutions to practical problems. And I've always said this, I am passionate about trading. People say, ask me, would you trade if you didn't make money? Yes. How do I know that? Because I've traded for many years without making money, right? The markets to me is the biggest game. It is an unsolvable puzzle. It is a puzzle that I will never completely get 100% because the markets are imperfect by nature. So you can never be 100% right. But it's the game of coming in and trying to solve it, trying to get a little bit closer each time, right? It's like if you divide everything in half, you'll never actually get to zero. You'll just get closer and closer. I look at the markets like that. So this is dead on. I mean, I'm always wondering, I look at each day as a new opportunity to try and defeat the markets, to try and get a little bit better. And that's what really drives me. It's not even trading. Trading and money is a result of that, but it's the game. And I actually enjoy what I'm doing. Let's skip around. I'm running out of time. Workplace habits. We don't care about this. I work from home. Conclusion. All right. Conclusion. Few personality types are as practical as virtuosos, known for their rational thinking and willingness to improvise. Virtuosos are good at finding unique solutions to seemingly impossible challenges. Sounds like a trading coach to me. Virtuosos' desire to explore and learn new things is invaluable in many areas, including their own personal growth. Yet, virtuosos can be easily tripped up in areas where their logical and practical attitude is more of a liability than an asset. Whether it's navigating interpersonal conflicts, confronting unpleasant facts, pursuing self-realization, or managing your workload, you need to put in a conscious effort to develop your weaker traits and additional skills. No, I don't. There's being stubborn again. So that's about it. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but I wanted to share that with you because I do think it was pretty much dead on. I don't think there was really anything I disagreed with too much there, and it just lets you know a little bit more about yourself and who you are. And I always believe that trading is a journey of self-discovery. Not only do you develop as a trader and learn how to trade, you develop as a person as well. And that's even more important. And the more you can know about your stuff, yourself and your tendencies and what you do, what tips you off, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you panic, what makes you relax, the more you can control yourself in the market, the more you can control your situation or control what situations you're in so you're not in those positions where you're going to have those emotional reactions. And unfortunately, when you do that in trading, money is at risk. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Take the test, www.16personalities.com. Feel free to shoot me a message on social media. Let me know what you are. I think it's fantastic. And as always, if you're new, make sure you like the show. Rate and review it, please. I haven't asked for you guys to do this in a while, but especially over on iTunes, give me a rating, give me a review. It helps the show. We're always in the top 5 of Forex trading podcasts out there, and that's pretty cool. And I just want to stay there. That's all due to you guys and your support. We've been going over a year. Typically, people would get bored with this stuff, but you seem to enjoy it. So if that's the case, just take a few minutes to leave me that rating, leave me that review, share this on social media, and of course, update me when you find out what your personality type is. All right, take care, traders.